So in the last video lecture we have seen the regular random process, but some points we have to add here. So what is regular random process? So here in regular random process, both the initial time and inter arrival times are given, okay, and they are usually fixed throughout the simulation. So if you want to simulate the regular random process, the initial time t0 will be given, and the difference, the time gap between t0 and t1, that is inter arrival time, is also given. Okay, so there are three cases of this regular random process actually. If the signal is discrete, that is +1 -1, we have seen that case. Okay, so between t0, time k, and k plus 1, that is between time t0 and t1, for example, the system will be dormant, nothing will happen during between t1 and t2. Okay, there are no signal changes between t1 and t2, that is the first case. So in the regular random process, initial time is given, inter arrival time is given. So you know t0, you know t1, t2, t3, what will be the value, that is already given, you are not supposed to schedule it. And another case is, so there are three cases in the regular random process. First case is signal is discrete, so we have seen the discrete signal. Okay, x of t is equal to 1, x of t is equal to -1, those values. So between t0 and t1, that is k and k plus 1, that is t0 and t1, or t1 and t2, or t1 t2 and t3, the system will dormant, so signal will not change. That is the first case. So regular random process, with first case, the initial time is given, inter arrival time is given, and between the time tk and tk plus 1, that for example t0 and t1, the system will be dormant and signal will not be changed. That is the first case of the regular random process. Another case is there will be some signal change. Okay, there will be some signal change between tk and k plus, that is k plus 1, and so the sampling frequency will be 1 by t. Okay, and so we will have the different cases. So this is the second case, the signal will change during this k and k plus, so that. Okay, and next case is, we were talking about these two cases of about the discrete signal. Now we are talking about the continuous signal. So what is continuous signal? Continuous signal is like continuous signal is like this is the continuous signal. Okay, sinusoidal. So continuous signal, if the continuous signal is there, then we have to model using the differential equation. Okay, since it is impossible to solve such a mathematical system analytically, numerical methods are often employed. Okay, for this reason we define integration step size h to be a small time increment over which no system dynamics can take place. That is, signal value will remain constant, will not change, by which appropriate numerical methods can be employed, where time t is equal to t is equal to h of k. Okay, so h, what is h? H is the step size, time step size. So 2 seconds, so it may be, it's like a multiplier, h may be equal to 2, 4, so the time will increment by that. Okay, so these were three cases of the regular random process. First case is signal is discrete and the system is dormant, so no signal change. Okay, initial time and interval time is given, time is discrete, and between t1 and t2 the system will dormant and there is no signal change. T1 t2 is just an example, it may be between t3 and t4, maybe in t9 and t10. Okay, and another example is signal is discrete, okay, but signal change will be there, that is second case. And third one is the time is continuous, time is not discrete. So with continuous we have to model it using the differential equation. So these are the three cases of the regular random process. So we'll move towards the next point, that is the random walks. Okay, so what is random walk? So it is one of the random process, and it's a discrete random process. Okay, random walk is example of discrete random process. It is example of random process, and in random process this is the discrete random process. So you know 1 plus 1 or minus 1, that is a discrete random process. Okay, so random walk is example of discrete random process. In its most basic form, random walk process is one in which signal value is either incremented by 1 or decremented by 1. Okay, so xk, that will be incremented by 1 or minus 1 at each time step. Okay, so time steps, you know, t0, t1, t2, t3, these are the time steps. In this way, it imitates a walker who takes one step in random direction. Someone is walking, so he takes one step in the random direction, so he will move further or may move backward. Okay, a series of such a signals is shown in the figure. So this is the figure, it shows the series of this signal. So this is t0, t1, t2, t3 up to t12, you can see, and the signal will be incremented by 1 or it will be decremented by 1. Okay, so incremented by 1 or decremented by 1, incremented by 1, decremented by 1, incremented by 1, decremented by 1. So this is the example, and here the probability shown is 0.5. Why 0.5? Because either it will increment or decrement. Only two cases are there. So probability for minus 1 is 0.5 and probability for plus 1 is 0.5. Okay. A series of such a signals is shown in the figure for the case where each direction is equally probable and initial state is x0 is equal to 0. So this x0 is equal to 0 and each direction is equally probable. Plus 1 is equally probable, minus 1 is equally probable, because only two states. So 50-50 chances are there. Okay. Figure illustrates two features of random walk. First, mean is 0, plus 1 or minus 1. So mean is 0. Since advance and retreat are equal likely, in spite of this, as time increases, sequence spread out. Okay. So you can see here, as time increases, sequence will spread out. Okay, time increases, sequence spread out. And the standard deviation increases directly with k. So the standard deviation, I will say, is directly proportional to time k. Okay, standard deviation will increase with time k. So the mean is 0, mu equal to 0, but standard deviation, that is sigma, that will be increase with the time k. In most general context, if probability that Walker position advances is p, okay, probability for Walker position is p, the probability that retreats, that is move backward, is 1 minus p. Okay, so probability for advancement is p, for backward movement is 1 minus p. Okay, very simple. So actually probability is 0.5, then backward is again 0.5. 1 minus 0.5 is 0.5. Regardless of value of probability, if Walker currently is position x is equal to 0, then only allowed next positions are x is equal to 1 or x is equal to minus 1. So we have already seen here, if it is at this position, then x is equal to 1 or x is equal to minus 1. Similarly, after position x is equal to 2, oh, actually for this I have to show this example. Actually, if it is here, x is equal to plus 1 or x is equal to minus 1. Okay, and if x is equal to 2, that is this position. next position must be either x is equal to 1 or x is equal to 3. So if it is x is equal to 2 here, then x is equal to 3 or x is equal to 1. Okay, after position x is equal to 2, next position either it can move towards x is equal to 1 or x is equal to 3. So minus 1 means x is equal to 1, plus 1 x is equal to 3. It is straightforward to derive an expression for the probability of position n at the next time k is equal to this, xk is equal to n. So with this you can find out the probability. Okay, so it's quite simple. So the so it is expressed by some binomial distribution. So you can see this k plus n, that is the number of positions the random walk has proceeded, and with this binomial distribution formula we can express the binomial distribution. Okay, so proceeding in the same manner, it can be shown that variance for random walk sigma square is equal to this. Okay, so from this formula it has been derived that this is the probability and this number of steps and probability. Okay, mean is time dependent. It follows that random walk process is not stationary in any case sense. Okay, random walk process is not stationary. So another special case is discussed here where probability is 0.5 and mu is equal to, that is mean is equal to 0, and the sigma, that is standard deviation, is root of square. So standard deviations is still function of time enough, though the mean is not. So mean is not function of time, but standard deviation is function of time. Why it is function of time? You can see here the standard deviation will increase as the time increases, but the mean will not increase because only random position is at plus 1 or minus 1. So mean is 0. At any point movement can be plus 1 or minus 1. So the mean is 0. But the standard deviation is increasing. This spread is there from this 0 value, the spread is there. So that's why the standard deviation. So standard deviation is function of time. You can see here. Standard deviation, the spread is there. So that standard deviation is function of time, whereas the mu, the mean, is not function of time, because whatever may be the time, it can either move plus 1 or minus 1, and so the mean is 0. Okay, so that is all about the random walk. Random walk case study. Consider a case of random walk in which probability is equal to 0.4. 10 instances are generated, are graphed in figure. So you can see here 10 instances are graphed in figure. It will be noted that since probability of advancement is less than probability of retreat, okay, probability of advancement is less, that is 0.4, retreat is 0.6. In general, tendency is down. This can be anticipated by plotting standard error curves of mu of x plus minus sigma x and mu of x plus minus twice sigma x along with the walks themselves to demonstrate how the process is contaminated with variance. So you know, this is showing the standard deviation and sigma square is the variance, sorry. So we can see here the random walk with probability 0.4. We have already seen the random walk like this. Now this was probability 0.5. Now with probability 0.4 and of course 0.6. Okay, plus 1, 0.4 and minus 1 is 0.6. So this is the graph how the random walk can be So we can see the various types of the random walks here. So there are number of creative ways by which to generate the random walks. One of these is to allow two dimensions, okay, which is walker steps either left or right and up or down at each time k, that is t0, t1, t2. It is entirely possible that walker journeys in random step sizes too. So you can see here left, right, up, down, okay. So this is the up, down and left, right, you can see. So the figure shows state space for the simulation in which up, down and left, right protocol is taken. At each increment is normalized to Gaussian random variable of mean 0 and standard deviation 1. So this is the movement is up, down and left, right, and we have the mean is equal to 0 and standard deviation is equal to 1. With that, this has been designed and the code for this implementation is given here, okay. So the code is given here. X1 is equal to x1 plus minus 2, so this will give the next step, okay. So with this random function and with this cost function, it has been designed. The Gaussian distribution has been used here. So a random walk, we have seen the three cases of random walk. This is with 0.5, +1 or -1, and here the next case is with probability 0.4 for forward and for -1 probability is 0.6. So the standard error curves are with this mu of x plus minus sigma x and twice x, and with this we have drawn this curve, okay, probability 0.4. So this is the random walk, another example, and another example is the random walk is left, right or up, down at each time step. So here the thing is standard deviation is 1 and mean is equal to 0, because why mean is 0, +1 or -1, it may be left or right, up or down, but step is 1 only. So so that value of xt is equal to either 1 or x of t is equal to -1, that's why mean is 0. So this has been shown by this code, okay. Next point in our syllabus is the white noise. A random walk requires two specification, initial state and recursive formula by which to proceed to the next step, okay. So what will be next step, and the initial state is given, so we can find out the next state, okay. In random walk what happens, initial state is given and formula is given, +1 -1 left, right, that we have already seen. Clearly such a random process will have significant autocorrelation, okay. Autocorrelation is there, +1 -1, so similar signals are there, that is called autocorrelation. Since the recursive process is always defined in terms of itself, okay, as it is defined in terms of itself, the autocorrelation is there. So the noise concept is contrary to it, contrast to it, we have the concept of noise, where future is unpredictable, okay. Now the most important thing, we have started with white noise. What is noise? If you will design any system, at any time the noise may arise in your design system, and while simulating you need to introduce some noise in the simulation system, so that what are the outcomes of that simulation that you need to find out, okay. That's why, so you have designed some new machines, for example, so you will test that machine and noise may come in between. If some problem is there in the design, the noise may come, or by some reason the noise is introduced in the system, what will be the outcome of the design system, the simulation is going on, so we need to add some noise in the system, and that's why we are studying the noise. Now white noise is one of the things. Okay, so what is white noise, or what is noise? Noise is unpredictable. Okay, whereas this random walk, we have seen the predictable things. Since to model noise is to model a signal that cannot be expect something to happen. Okay, so noise comes at any time, isn't it? Noise comes at any time. So we are say for example, I am speaking with someone on the cell phone, and immediately some noise may come, so it is not expected when it will come. So it cannot be anticipated, it is not expected, it is expect something to happen. So noise is not the thing expected to happen. Okay, so that is the noise. We think of noise as not related to any other signal xk. I am speaking with someone, so the signal is coming and I am speaking with someone, so it is not related to that signal. Okay, thus we consider noisy signal Wk to be signal whose cross relation is. Why cross relation? It is not auto correlation, it is not repeated process. Okay, so it is called cross relation. Okay, so this cross relation is shown by this Rwx tau, that is time lag, and it is given by this expectation function, that is probability function, on this noise signal and the regular signal. Okay, and that comes to mean of the signal, your regular signal and noise signal. So this cross correlation is nothing but the mean of your regular signal and the noise which is introduced in the system. Okay, so this is shown by the constant if t is equal to 0, and if t is not equal to 0, then it is, so time lag is equal to 0. If time lag is not equal to 0, the correlation is 0. Okay, the most important thing is the noisy signal is not having any autocorrelation, that's why it is shown by 0. Okay, noisy signal is not having any autocorrelation, and that's why it is shown by 0. Whereas if the autocorrelation is between the regular signal and noisy signal, it is indicated by mean of the regular signal and mean of the noisy signal. It follows from earlier discussion that the signal has no correlation with itself. Okay, so this is equal to 0 means the signal has no autocorrelation with itself. WW means noise. Noise is not having any correlation with itself unless there is 0 lag, at which time the correlation is constant. So if 0 lag is there, correlation is constant. So the noisy signal will have correlation with itself when there is no time lag. Okay, but when time lag is equal to 0, there is no correlation. So just this formula has been explained with this. For discrete signal, the value of constant is second moment. So we were discussing about the continuous signal. Now if it is a discrete signal, then autocorrelation is given by this. Okay, probability on the signal value. Probability, that is expectation function, is there on the signal value if the signal is discrete signal. Now when the mean for the noisy signal is 0, then it is called white noise. Okay, this is very important statement. When the mean of the noise signal is 0, then it is called white noise. Okay, so up till now we were discussing about the noise, and now what is white noise? If the mean value for the noisy signal is 0, then it is called white noise. So this white noise is characterized by these 4 properties. First property is, as discussed, when the mean is 0 for the noisy signal, then this is the first property, white noise. Second is the correlation, that is the you say the variance is equal to constant for the noisy signal, then correlation is given by this formula, that is the variance and the time lag. Okay, that is given by so that is 1, and there is no correlation between the regular signal and white noise, and that is there is no correlation, that is 0. So the four properties are there. Mean is 0 for the white noise, then the standard deviation sorry, the variance is constant, and the autocorrelation is calculated by this formula, that is the variance and the time lag. Okay, and next point is there is no correlation between the regular signal X and the noisy signal W. So there is no correlation between these. Thus, the white noise is explained by these four properties. Okay. So white noise is important for several reasons. Okay. First, we have seen it presents realistic noise source, and realistic simulation will require such a facility. Okay. So noise, so if you want to do some simulation, noise is necessary. Since discrete white noise, since discrete white noise is result of sequence of independent and identical distributed random variates with mean 0, it reasonably models an ideal signal contaminated with random noise that cannot be anticipated. Another reason that white noise is so important is that it can be used to generate large set of random processes besides white noise. So white noise can be used to generate the random processes also. Okay. Now we will see the code to generate the white noise, and this is the formula to generate the white noise. W is equal to this under square root of 3 into this 2 into random minus 1, and this white noise generated will be added to the regular signal to get the noisy signal. Okay, and this is the diagram. You can see this noise signal is incorporated. This is the regular signal, and this noisy signal is incorporated in this. So signal co-founded with additive, uniform and Gaussian white noise. So this is with standard deviation. We have seen that mu and standard deviation is given with the Gaussian distribution, and thus the noise is added. So that's all about the white noise, and we'll stop here. That's the end of our unit 2 and chapter 3 actually.